Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 1 Point Safety Show with myself, Scott Hartley, and my amazing co-host, Scouse Andy. How are you, mate? All right, bud?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm very good. How are you feeling?
Yeah, all right, mate. Not too bad, but I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit later on.
Nice,
All good, mate. All good. As always, mate, we'll start with our sponsors and people we sponsor. So Dunstable Town's FC's Talk of the Town podcast, renewed for a further season with an advertising hoarding. So if you like non-league football or you're ever near Creasy Park, go ahead and look at our little advertising board that will be there. Big shout out to Andy Burrows. Thank you for doing that. Really appreciate you. If you like non-league football or you want to go and watch them play, they're really great down there. Go and give them a follow on socials and give them a watch. We're also graciously sponsored by Oddballs. You can go across to myoddballs.com. Go and have a look at them. Go and find our gear on there. And there's lots of other wacky fancy boxes and socks that you can buy. Got quite a good discount in there still this week, so go across and give them a shout out. And the last one, we are sponsored by Fusion Therapeutics. They are at fusiontherapeutics.co.uk. They provide expert MSK assessments and treatment with a focus on holistic care. Dedicated to improve your well-being through tailored musculoskeletal health plans, the team offer specialist injection therapy and non-medical independent prescribing. So if you're in the Northwest, Manchester or Cheshire area, give the team a call on 01606 512 013 or book online, and the team will be happy to advise you on further medical affordable treatment solutions. My word, I cocked that up more than I could make a stick at.
You can't nail it, can you?
I will. I still can't get that. It's too wordy, but I'll get there, mate. Onto the news then, mate, I suppose, is where we'll start things. Shout out to Rod, who's in the chat with us, and Deluxe. Thank you for being with us. We will be bringing the pod really on a Monday from the net for the next couple of weeks anyway, while we're out and about in the off season. Just Scousey has got a job that he's got to travel for, so he's very busy at the minute. And Thursdays are a bit of a push. Especially with traffic and stuff like that. So we'll be moving around a little bit. First bit of news, mate, is Brian Schneider has been named the team's new assistant special teams coordinator. He takes over from John Glenn, who I think went to the Cleveland Browns. I'm not sure exactly where John Glenn went to. He will serve as the team assistant special coordinator. He's during the 2024-25 season. We've also hired a guy called Jesse Madden, who's been added to the coaching staff as an offensive quality control coach. He joins the team following his graduation from the University of Michigan. Schneider's in his 18th season as a coach in the NFL, most recently serving as special teams coordinator in San Francisco for 2 seasons, 2022 and 2023. Prior to that, he's worked in Seattle from 2010 to 2020 as special teams coordinator. He worked with head coach Dan Quinn for 3 seasons. His coaching career began as a graduate assistant at Colorado State. And then he spent time at UCLA, Iowa State, Air Force before making the jump into the NFL as an Oakland Raiders special teams coordinator. So this guy is basically a special teams coordinator, and he's backing up Larry Izzo, which will be quite interesting. So again, what that's showing me there, Scouse, is exactly the same as we went through last season. We're building and building and building these guys on the coaching side of it who've got prior experience in the top job or in the top job of their field, i.e. specials, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, whatever it is. What are your thoughts on that one, mate?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't know how good this guy is, but to be fair, he's been at big teams. And also, Peters knows him from 49ers. That's the reason why he signed him now. So he must be pretty good. And you know, the Niners special teams are pretty decent the last couple of years. So yeah, I mean, you know, we could use help and yeah, I mean, Rob mentioned succession plan and potentially if Izzo does go somewhere else for a better job, maybe who knows that Schneider could take over, but it's the name, isn't it? Schneider kind of puts you off, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Jesse Madden, on the other hand, he's the grandson of obviously John Madden. He'll enter his first season in the NFL after graduating from Michigan. He played quarterback for his freshman season before switching to defensive back, and then he was a member of the 2024 National Championship team at Michigan. So he's gone from player to taking his first kind of coaching job in the NFL. So good luck to him, mate. Do you know what I mean? It'll be interesting to see what's happened then.
It'd be interesting because he's got a name to live up to, a reputation. You know that surname.
Absolutely.
You know, it's no joke. So let's see what he can do.
Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to mention that, but wow, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, it is what it is. Onto some dates for your diary then. So it's 3 days until the NFL Combine. 8 days until franchise tag deadline, which is March the 4th. Free agency starts on March the 10th. We're 59 days from the NFL draft. I'll get back to that soon. We're 142 days away from training camp, 157 days away from preseason, and 192 days away from the first season kickoff. So not far away, mate. Do you watch much of the Combine, Scouse? Are you that bothered about it? Are you not bothered about people running around in gym shorts?
I mean, of course, there's only certain things you can take from it, but but it's I think it's useful for certain positions.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, the quarterback. I understand he's under no pressure. I understand he's not in pads. I understand all that, but it's about like how accurate you are when you actually got nobody around and how smooth you deliver the ball. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those things. So I'm looking for different things all the time. It's hard to get a timing route together with a receiver that you just met. So if you can do that, then that shows how good you are with looking for accuracy, and that's what I'm looking for. Because at the end of the day, quarterbacks need to be accurate. If they're not going to make it in the NFL. So
we're not looking at quarterbacks though. But I mean, I've seen today that Shedeur Sanders has said he's not doing anything at the draft. And this is a trend. This is a trend we've had for about 3 to 4 years now, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't like it because basically what he's doing is, for me, the way I look at it is that you're just like Caleb last year. It's kind of like, well, you haven't got the ball to compete against the other quarterbacks here. What's going on? My stock can only go down. Well, if you're good enough and you say you're as good as what you are, then go out there and prove it. So I don't understand that. I don't understand why like Sanders is one of them, and then the other one. So it's just a kind of ridiculous thing. So it's just kind of, it really annoys me. It's like, hey, if you want to be a top quarterback in the NFL, unfortunately, the combine is the way. I mean, look at Tom Brady. Even he did it, and everyone was laughing at him because obviously he looked like a normal average Joe. He didn't look that athletic anyway, and he ended up being one of the GOAT. So these things can happen, and it just really pisses me off that guys who've got high stock just don't want to take the risk of maybe the draft stock going down just a touch. And it's like, mate, I understand money's involved. I understand that, but it's kind of, as the person, as the player, and as the competitor, I want to see that guy out there performing and saying, hey, look, I'm the best. I'm the best. I should be going number one, and I'm going to prove it right now. But, it's, I mean, it is what it is. I get it. Agents are probably telling these guys that, you've got nothing to gain but everything to lose and all this crap. But it's like, well, actually, if you just do what you're normally good at under no pressure, which is obviously there's no guy in your face, all those things. These guys practice like this all the time, all day. So I don't understand why it's such a big thing. But yeah, I understand the quarterbacks aren't the first ones, but it's just a kind of I do like that. I do like kind of the quarterbacks, and then also like the running backs and how smooth they move and stuff like that. So I'm always looking for how not just like speed, but like just certain ways, just certain position, like how quick they are to move, how quick they are to come off the line, to jag left, right, and stuff like that. And it's just little things, but you think he's smooth. Like for example, when I saw McCaffrey coming out of the combine, I was like, damn, this guy looks real good. And he wasn't like, oh, he's got to go number 1 overall. He was kind of like a top 10 guy, but he wasn't probably going to be top 10 at the time. Being honest, I mean, I know Carolina took him at 8th, I think, but.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of thing of like, well, wow, but I said, damn, this guy looks real smooth and I'm real good and everything that he did. It was like, wow, and obviously he became one of the best. So it's kind of
I like watching 40s. I like watching the bench press to see how fast they're doing. See these defensive ends, how good they move from side to side, as you say.
Yeah,
like looking at the corners to see not just height and weight and length. It's how high they can do vertical jump, that sort of thing. You know what I mean? What it's like off the floor.
And I always say, I mean that's nice, but it's always kind of like, well, you're already running backwards. Let's see you jump backwards, rather than jumping up. Like physically perfectly up.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
some things do translate and some things don't. But it's still. I think it's useful. I do think it's useful, and I do like people who do compete and who want to compete. I think like that was last year. Like only one quarterback ran the 40. I think it was something like
Yeah,
that. There was one guy
yeah, it
and
was
there's always
crazy.
one guy, and but he went like, no, I'm going to do it anyway. And I like that in the guy. So
So
yeah,
we'll talk about
we'll watch.
we'll talk about cap space. Obviously, a little bit around cap space. So looking at the cap space so far, we talked about this last week, but we'll go through it again. So the NFL cap in 2023 was 224 mil. 2024 it was 255.4 mil. PFF and NFL Insiders said it will raise by about 15 mil this season. That's not the case. The NFL has now said that it will be between 277.5 to 281.5 mil. Looking at the lower end, 277.5, that would give us a cap space of 82.2 million and a effective cap space, which is what they project for obviously all of your draft class, of $75.4 million, Scouse. If we did absolutely nothing this season, and we went, no, we're not doing anything at all, but we signed bums off the street, then next year we'd have 155 million. But obviously you've got 29. You've got 29 pending free agents that we've got to try and think about, and it's going to be very difficult, mate. So, having a bigger cap space, obviously, it doesn't help us, which is a strange thing. You'd think, oh yeah, you've got more money to spend. But what you have got now is you've got teams that were maybe negative and now positive. So if we look at the Cowboys, for example, they were in the negative. They are now apparently just over 2 million in the positive, which, doesn't help things at all. It helps teams like the Browns hold on to talent, which I'm sure we'll get into a little bit later on, when you've got big contracts that you've got to fill. So effectively, it doesn't really help us in the long run. Has it changed your thoughts at all going into free agency on what you would do, having a little bit more money to spend? No,
I think it's got to be the same game plan, and you just got to hope that some of these guys say they want to play here, will then prove it that they want to play here by taking not like a ridiculously low ball offer, but just a little bit less, just so you can get that extra guy. You know what I mean? That extra high quality player in a certain position. And I always call it the Patriots discount when they were doing well, because everyone took ridiculously low contracts just to be a part of that winning team. And I think I think we're on that way, if that makes sense. If we do everything right this offseason, it's very important this offseason, because you mentioned we've got 29 guys that kind of need to be re-signed, and it's kind of like, oh, you got all this money, but you've got a shitload of players you've got to buy or get hold of and sign.
Yeah.
So it's going to be still a balancing act for Peters for sure. I'm just but first season was superb, so let's see what he does second season.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've changed my tack slightly on who I'd kind of go after. I do think we have to concentrate on the trenches. I also think that you can almost make two moves with one, and you can kill two birds with one stone, if that makes sense, by maybe signing someone like a left tackle and pushing one of the tackles, like Brandon Coleman, into either left guard, or you push him into right tackle and you move maybe Wiley inside, or you move, if you move Brandon Coleman inside to left guard, then you maybe move Algretti to right guard. There's moves that you can make by just signing one player, and everyone's talked about Ronnie Stanley, and a few people have talked about this chap I'm going to talk about. It's Alaric Jackson from the LA Rams. He had what was in PFF's grades. I mean, I'm reading it now. He had the best pass blocking and the best run blocking out of any tackle in the NFL. He was 18th out of all tackles across the NFL. He had a really, really good season last year for the Rams, an undrafted free agent out of Iowa. They think he is due to get about 14.5 mil a year. They're saying a 4-year deal, 58 mil total is what they're projecting his contract to be. Now, I wouldn't necessarily go with a 4-year deal, but for 14.5 mil to have a left tackle that played every game last season for the Rams without injury concerns and is 3 years younger than Ronnie Stanley, that for me says, you're getting a top tier left tackle. You don't necessarily get the movability with him like Ronnie Stanley will be used to having a mobile quarterback, but having played with Lamar Jackson. But it's going to be tough. I mean, are you looking purely at the trenches in free agency then?
Yeah, I think you've got to go for players, at least one or two guys in the trenches for sure, because we do need upgrades. And as I say, I don't think we're going to kind of re-sign some of our kind of older guys, like Lucas and other dudes like that. I just don't see us kind of keeping on to those guys. Trent Scott, another one. I just don't see us keeping hold of those. I think we want to upgrade them, and I think we're going to do that. I say you might have some no-namers that we might get in from free agency, but then also we're going to end up, I think, spending some money on a quality tackle. I just don't know. I mean, as you say, it's an idea what you're saying there about getting a left tackle in, for example, and then going for Coleman into the middle or anything like that. But I say you don't really want to do loads of movement around, especially if the guy's just learning. He's still learning the left tackle position properly. So, do you really want to mess him around? Probably.
Yeah, I mean,
not.
I can see what Deluxe is saying there, and he's to your point, Scouse. He's saying there. He liked what Keim said about Coleman. You don't switch his position until you have to. Left tackles are hard to find. Don't stunt his growth. Yeah, I agree with that. Rod says that he can't see us going for a massive player like Garrett. I mean, we can get into that a little bit. And then he said your brother said Lucas is a cheap option. Yeah, I agree as a swing tackle. Yeah, I don't agree. I don't mind bringing him back, but he is old. That is part of the problem.
He's not old. That's what I'm saying. We've got guys who are average and old. I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, would I be upset if he brought Lucas back? Probably not. No, I wouldn't be upset. But the thing is, like, you know what he is. You get one or two good games out of him a season. Let's be honest, and he can play at a high level at times. But it's kind of it's fleeting, if that makes sense. So it's difficult because you obviously want to upgrade your starters, but then you also want to upgrade the depth behind them as well. And getting Lucas back in, that doesn't actually upgrade anything. It just stays what it is. And it wasn't that great last year. Let's be honest. So I'm a bit like, I want to see something different. I want to see somebody else coming in. I need you know what I mean? I need a couple of guys coming in.
I do too, and I think I would look to draft a guy, definitely, whether that's a right tackle.
I'm looking for a right tackle. That'd be my first. If I was 29, that's what I'm looking for. I'll be looking for a tackle. So a right tackle like this. You're not going to get a left one, not a good one anyway. So I'm looking for a right tackle there and bring Wiley into the middle, as you said before, because Wiley can play there. I think he's a better guard anyway than he is a tackle. His footwork isn't that great. Let's face it. So he's better suited. I think he's better suited to guard. And that'll do the business while Cosme's still out. That's what I'd be doing personally. I'm trying to get myself a left tackle or a quality left guard as well, dependent on free agency what you want to go on.
Yeah, and then I suppose if you look at it that way and you were looking at the line as a whole and saying, right, how can I build this line? If you're pushing Wiley inside and you drafted a right tackle, then happy days, because when Cosme's fit again, which probably be October, mid-October, maybe November, you're looking at then saying, well, I've got an incredible swing tackle if I need to, or a swing guard, whichever way you want to go around with Wiley, who's versatile in all them positions. And then all you're doing is you maybe bringing back a Dieter as a backup centre or someone a little bit better if you can find one in free agency. So there's lots of things we can do here, but you're right, it's all about depth for me.
Yeah.
Bit of other news then, mate. So yeah, today it was announced that yes, I have been announced as the International Fan of the Year for 2024 for the Washington Commanders, which I am absolutely humbled by. Thank you, Scouts. In all honesty, total shock.
Should have been me. I know it should have been me. It should have been me.
I know, bro. So
be more proud of, bro. Really.
Thank you. No, honestly. And we got a really good write-up for the show on the NFL website, so that was really cool of them to do that as well. They put that out on there saying, go to the show is on there. So yeah, man, it was a bit of a shock. I've known for 3 weeks, and I've had to obviously keep it quiet because the announcement was today for all 32 teams is NFL International Fan of the Year. Got some amazing gifts, including this one right here.
That's one of the picks of the bunch, that one.
Yeah, man. So I don't know if anyone can see this or not, but I got a signed Frankie Louvu jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So it's which is dead cool. So thank you to the team for that. And yes, I will get to go to the Green Bay to the draft. And I don't know what's going to go from there. Apparently we've got a Q&A with the commissioner. So I think what we'll do is when things are nailed down a little bit later on, maybe mid-March sort of time, I think what we'll do is we'll get the chat and those who follow the pod to write some questions in, and we'll maybe take the top 2 or 3 questions. We can't make profanities, obviously, because it is Roger Goodell, but if I have to go to a Q&A session with Roger Goodell, why don't we get some questions asked from people? So everyone who's in the chat, Deluxe, Rod, Ian, everybody else who always follows us, get your thinking caps on and have a think about what we need to do and what questions you'd like to ask Roger Goodell, and we'll go from there. Really interesting, mate. I'm so proud to represent the team and represent the international fan base. There is a lot of us out here. Anyone could have won that, mate. You, me, Rod, Ian. Anybody could have won that, and it's just a blessing to be to get it.
He can win it.
He could.
His ego will be too big. You think my ego is big? You both?
I know what you mean. But I look at your treasure trove of memorabilia and think, wow, but there's loads of us out there. Look at my dismal things behind me.
I know dudes who have got even better collections than me, man. I mean, there's guys who've got some amazing stuff. Man, amazing. But yeah, for sure. And then Rob mentioned there push for Madrid. So I asked Goodell, can we go to play Madrid?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I think by then we'll know.
I've got a bad feeling. I've got a bad feeling that we're going to be Brazil.
Oh, you're not going to say Brazil, are you?
Yeah. I've got a bad feeling about it. I just think,
who's in Brazil?
It's the Chargers.
Ooh,
and we've got them.
We are playing them. We've
got them away. Same with Miami and Madrid. So they're the 2 games that we could potentially play away. Obviously, I prefer Madrid. It's probably an hour-and-a-half flight, 2-hour flight. You know what I mean? Brilliant. Compared to Brazil, which is probably about 20. I
can't imagine you in the favelas, mate, in Brazil. I think you get killed.
I'm poor enough. I could probably be in there with them. Yeah, man.
That's not how the International Fan of the Year rolls, mate. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
It's only the high life.
Limo flying down the favelas, and they'll be all like, you're first to be kidnapped.
Facts. Yeah, no. It's. I hope we're not playing in Brazil as well. I don't really fancy going to Brazil, but Madrid. I'll be quite happy with Madrid. That'd be pretty cool. Ideally, though,
in the Bernabeu, that'd be awesome to go to.
Yeah, I know. Ideally, though, I'd love to have them come back to the UK. That is the ideal, isn't it? Maybe next year we have them come back to the UK as an away team. But Anfield,
that'd be awesome.
Brunton Park, yeah. But yeah, it'll be brilliant, man. We'd have to go back to Spurs or wherever it'll be. But yeah, I'd love that. But yeah, unbelievable, mate, to get that. I just the love that's on X is ridiculous. I think about 4,500 views so far on that tweet. So it's just
really? Nice.
Crazy, mate. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, there's a few bits that we've got going out there, and I will wear a pod hat, and if I get to do a pick, which apparently we do. I don't know if that is the case. I will be wearing a pod hat. So yeah, I will shout out the pod as well. So I'm not gonna do anything stupid.
They'll probably say, "No, you're not allowed to do that, bro." I'll be like, "Oh yeah, cheers."
Rod's saying Everton's new grounds NFL approved scouts.
Oh no! Don't tell me that.
Oh, you'd spit it. You'd spit.
To be fair, I would actually go to the stadium, but then I wouldn't be happy being there. I'd be like, "Oh no, this is just shit all."
I know what you mean. So big moves for the off season. Then looking at what we're trying to do. There's the top 50 free agents at the moment, where every day people are talking about who's coming, who's doing what, when, how. What are your 3 biggest needs? And do you think we go and swing big for anybody?
Yeah, well, for me, it's got to be tackle and it's got to be edge. For me, they're the first two.
Okay.
And then I'm looking at corner as well. So they're my three positions that I'd probably want to go after in free agency.
Over wide receiver.
Trading. Yeah, I think Jaden can do more with less. He's proven he can do that. Obviously, it'd be nice to get a top receiver to come in, but as I say, for me, top three positions of need, I think it'd be those three for me. A receiver, we can get away with it again if we had to, but I think we probably go for. I think we're going to get a player in all four positions.
Wow! In free agency,
be a trade or free agency, yeah.
Wow! So back to the Myles Garrett thing, then. Do you think we get Myles Garrett?
I think it's definitely a potential. It's potential. I just think deep down, I don't think Garrett wants to go. I think he's just playing the game of trying to get a bigger contract from Cleveland. I mean, if he really does want to win, well, let's see him and his agent start kicking off to get himself out. That's what I want to see. But yeah,
you see, I think Garrett works for a team that is either has a Super Bowl window closing or is very close to a winning team, a Buffalo, a Detroit, that sort of team. I think that's kind of where he would end up. We are in that mold. We are in that asking price. But I think the problem with trying to get a Myles Garrett is how on earth do the Browns come off that contract with the dead money that's involved in that contract? And it's not as if we can pay the dead money on the contract. We can't do that. Then he's going to get paid, and he's going to want to be the highest defensive end in the entire league. Which are we in a position to do that?
Yes. Or does he want to get paid? That
both.
Let's just be honest. No, beggars can't be choosers. And at the end of the day, this guy wants to leave his current team. If this is genuine and true, so you can't have it both ways, mate. Yeah, you are one of the best in the game, but the thing is, if you're going to be paid like the best, well, you're probably going to stay at Cleveland, aren't you? Because no one's going to pay a potential 30-year-old huge contract, and then also giving up 2 first-rounders plus.
Yeah.
I just can't see that happening. So it's either going to be one or the other. If he wants to win, he's going to go to a team who might give him a good payday. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he'd be number one, like most paid. If he wants both, well then good luck, mate. You're going to be sticking to Cleveland, trying to negotiate with them who are broke at the moment. Good luck, So, yeah.
I just think it's going to be very tough to get someone like him. I would love to do it, and I would give away 2 first-round picks absolutely in a heartbeat. I would do it. But I think the cost is going to be a little bit more. If you get someone like the Patriots or who've got massive cap space, the Raiders. I know he said he doesn't want to go to them teams, but they have got more resource and they've got potentially more cap space than more cap picks than we have.
Bad as Cleveland.
Oh, I know. So he wouldn't stay there, would he? That's the other thing.
Even the better than those 2 teams, with the talent they've got on that team.
Lots of other people linked. We talked about Cooper Kupp. We talked about other players being linked last week. I think we'll end up with someone like a Christian Kirk, which I know might be a bit of a might be a bit of downgrade in most people's eyes. But as a wide receiver too, is he that bad? I really want to try and see if we can get Nick Westbrook-Akine as well from the Titans. He's obviously a free agent. Had a really good end to the season. Scored a lot of touchdowns as well. And as a third receiver or fourth receiver, because you've got McCaffrey on there at the moment, it will work. That's a good receiver room when you look at it that way. It's an upgrade from Noah Brown. It's a definite upgrade from De'Ami Brown. I've seen a lot of fans say, "Oh, bring De'Ami Brown back." People even talking about wide receiver 2 money, which I just think is crazy. We've seen 2 or 3 games where De'Ami Brown's gone off in 4 years.
You can't have exactly. You can't give wide receiver 2 money for 2 good games in the playoffs out of 4 years.
Yeah,
I couldn't, like, in my mind, justify that. I can't do it. Yeah, he played well in those games, but the thing is, no, that's not enough to go. Oh, by the way, now you're my wide receiver 2, and you're going to get 15 mil a year. Nah, you know what I mean? Like, it's not. He's just not that guy. I like the Westbrook Akine. I like him. He was their main guy, being honest, last year. I know the Titans didn't have much at receiver, but he scored like 8 in a row or something like that. He's actually pretty decent. I think he's a decent receiver. I think he could be the kind of wide receiver 2. I really do think he could be a wide receiver 2. And with the Kirk option, I mean, I wouldn't be upset with that because he played for Cliff.
He did, in Arizona, yeah.
So it was kind of, he suits the system. So if you're going to stick with this similar type system going forward, obviously, Cliff C will be, but I'm talking the year after, a couple of years after, then Kirk would be ready made for this team, for this system. So why not? As long as the money's right, then why not?
Here's another one I've thought about, and I've been trying to look long and hard through the free agent, like who we pick up, who we won't pick up. Been kind of looking at what we could do, what we can't do, who's out there, who's not. Travarius Ward from the 49ers obviously got that Adam Peters connection. They reckon he's going to be a 10 mil a year contract. So they're saying 3 years, 30 mil. I mean, DJ Reed is 27 mil a year.
27 mil a year?
No, sorry, let me go back. 3 years, 14 mil. 3 years, 14 mil is what they're asking for. 27 mil guaranteed. 42 mil in total is kind of where they're projecting him at. I like DJ Reed. Obviously, we know that he wants to come here because we've seen that on Twitter. We've seen it through some of his ex-posts. But yeah, Travarius Ward, another cornerback that can play outside. I think if you move Sam Still back into the slot...
Ward is a good player.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, he had a real horrible thing happen to him, didn't he, over there? And, his kid died, and it's just some horrible stuff. And we haven't seen him since. Like, he hasn't played since. So, and I totally understand that. But it's just a case of, is he ready to return and play? Because obviously you're going to pay this guy 10, 12 million a year. Is he back? Is he going to be that dude that he was a couple of years ago? Because he's not too old. It isn't about his age.
No.
It's about his mentality and does he want to come back to it? Is he fully over it? Which you never really are you? But I'm just trying to see it from both angles. Kind of. Really
I know what you mean. What he has said in his interviews, though, when I've read up on it, is he said he wants to leave California, and he got a sinking feeling every time he came back to California. Obviously, with what happened, so he's not been in a good frame of mind.
So it's like he's been triggered every single time he goes to California. Yeah.
Yeah. So he said, I don't really want to, be around that area. But with that Peters connection, and Peters was the one who drafted him. I mean, there's ways we can go around this, because I think we'll get outbid for someone like DJ Reed. I really do. I'd be very surprised if we got him.
Being outbid, and as you said before, how desperate does this guy want to come and play for us? Mm-hmm. If he is desperate to us, and there's only a couple of million in it, say, from somebody else offering a bit more, maybe they'll put his money where his mouth is as such, and say, well, he was desperate to come to us. Well, keep it going. Come to us now. Okay, you might not be on as much money as, say, the Patriots might offer or whoever, but it's you've got a high chance of starting here, and you're going to have and you're going to get paid well anyway. Do you really want to come? Sound dotted line, So, I mean, that's what I'd be looking at. But yeah, it's all lip service until he actually comes to action. You know what I mean? Where it's kind of, everyone could say Washington, my favorite team ever, and they never were. You know what I mean? Like, it's a load of shit, but if these guys are genuine when they're saying they want to play here, well, then prove it. Come and sign for us for maybe not a low ball offer, but just a little bit cheaper than others and stuff like that. And then that would show me that you do want to play here rather than somewhere else. So,
agreed. And I think sometimes, we had that. The other thing we were talking about before is we had that stupid the survey, that comes out every off season saying, what are they like towards families, what are they like towards nutrition and all that sort of stuff, the gradings of the team as a whole from a player's point of view. When you look at the strength and conditioning, which has always been pretty good in this team every year on year, you look at the nutrition and the strength and conditioning in this team now, it's clearly changed when you can get 20 games out of someone like Zach Ertz, who's been continually injury prone. Bobby Wagner, 20 games, especially at his age. This clearly works for a lot of older players as well, but I'm not saying go in the
He's a
bargain
beast,
basement.
Wagner. He rarely gets hurt, Wagner, and he's always leading tackler in every team he's at.
Yeah,
Which shows
you're right there.
He is like conditioned perfectly as such. Wagner is.
There's one here from Rod Morrison. He's put a question in there saying, does that mean Noah I would not return? No, I think Noah I probably will return, especially as a depth piece, but that's where we've been lacking is depth. You know what I mean? We haven't got things behind. I mean, if you said to yourself today, right, we've got Lattimore, Samra Still, Javarius Ward, Noah I to back up as well, mate, that's a good cornerback room already. You're not looking at your Michael Walkers, your... what was a guy called? Bloody hell. Benjamin St. Juice. Who else is there? The other one that was awful against...
yeah.
Yeah.
The guy
number
from...
24. Number 24 he is.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
The guy from...
against the Jets, he was awful. Yeah, not the Jets,
okay.
against the Giants even.
The Chargers guy, wasn't it? Mike.
Yeah, Chargers guy. Mike Davis. Thank you, Scouse. Yeah, I knew we'd get there. Awful. Just
and that's the thing. That's the thing is because it's great if your main guys play fit, healthy or every single game. However, it's very rare. It's very rare that you guys do stay healthy all year. Yeah, you mentioned. I think last year we did quite well, really, out the injury bug from our first team starters. I know there's a couple that went down for games here, game there, but they weren't out for the whole season. Cosby went out right at the end of the year. There's not been a lot of guys that were season enders very early on, and I think that helped us kind of mask some of the holes that we had for a long period. We eventually got found out, sure, but if our starters went down earlier in the season, we would have been awful. Do you know what I mean? So, because our backups just wouldn't be able to cope. It's just as simple as that. So, we definitely. It's hard, man, because we still need to be our starters, and then we need solid depth. It's hard, man. It's hard.
It is. You're right. And I think with this cap space that we've got and with these players that we've got coming in, 29 pending free agents, going to be very difficult. Your bro put one in there saying Hassan Reddick. Do you take a punt on Hassan Reddick? Problem with Hassan Reddick for me, mate, is he left the Eagles under an absolute cloud. And if you go back 2 years ago, he was unbelievable. He was top draw. Didn't want to stay in the Eagles. Leaves because he wants the coin. Goes to the Jets expecting a massive payday. They didn't sign him to a new deal.
Yeah,
then he threw his teddies out the pram again. So that's, for me, that's not the sort of person I kind of want around the culture. Do you know what I mean? Because he's going to want to come in here, earn top dollar, and go, you know what, pay me what I'm worth. I don't think we need that in an edge rusher.
What do you think he's worth?
Yeah, exactly that.
He didn't do anything. So you're only as good as your last season, and he didn't do much because he didn't play. Well, that's his own fault.
Yeah, I'm not in for Hassan Reddick.
Has he got talent? Sure. Could he be utilised? Sure. But I wouldn't want him anywhere near my team, to be fair. And he's won shitloads of money as well. It won't be no cheap. It won't be like, you can get him on a 1 year, $5 million deal. That ain't going to happen. This guy's going to want, as you say, top dollar, and I don't think he's worth it because of how he's been acting last year or so.
Khalil Mack or Josh Sweat? Yeah, I'll take them in a heartbeat. Either of them. Khalil Mack will set the edge for you, which is exactly what you're wanting from your edge rusher. Malcolm Kuntz as well from the Raiders is a really good, really good.
I've got a player that you might go, no, but then you think, well, actually, he's actually still a good player. Calais Campbell's decent, yeah. But he's old now. He's on 37. But the thing is, he still plugs the hole, man, in the middle. The middle defensive line. He could be. He wants to play for a team who's going to challenge. So maybe contract's finished. It'd be a freebie, but it's kind of. I think it'd be worthwhile taking the punt on him and getting with a John Allen. That's what I would do because that guy knows how to actually flame and line up. Knows how to stop the run.
I think we're moving on from John Allen or Jerome Payne. I don't think Jerome Payne we're going to move on because the dead cap's too much. But I think we will not see John Allen next year. Diggy Zua from the Cowboys is where I'm going. At 27 years old, his best football's ahead of it. Diggy Zua, he's called from the Cowboys. Obviously played with Dan Quinn before. he will be a good inside defensive defensive interior guy there. Mac would have to be a good deal. I'm not paying his
Oh yeah,
ass
he's not
20
paying
mil a
20
year.
mil. No, I mean the guy's
Yeah, no, I get that.
34 now, so he's not going to be getting in that kind of corn. I think you can get him.
He will. I think he will. I think he will get paid for that. You know.
I think he'll get 10 mil max. I don't think anything more than 10 mil. I really do. Okay, then he can still hanging out at the Rams then or Chargers. Sorry, good luck. They're going to go first round of playoffs again. Do you want to go to a contender or just want to hang around? Well, it's up to him. I think no more than 10 mil.
So a Diggy Zoo apparently is gonna. They're projecting he gets a 4-year, 16 mil a year contract. A Diggy Zoo, Diggy Zoo, 4-year, 16 mil a year, 50 mil guaranteed, 72 mil contract. Ooh, that's a lot of money.
Does he do? The thing is, does his production do enough for that?
Yeah.
Does it really?
Yeah, for me, it does. Yeah. He was.
So you'd pay that contract. You'd pay that contract for him if we offered it, and you'd be happy with that.
16 mil. Yeah.
Yeah, and then 50 guaranteed or whatever it is. Yeah, would you do that?
The guarantee's a bit high, but yeah, I don't know. But I think that's who we end up with, and I think we do move on from John.
He's good. He's not great. He's not. Wow.
I thought he's very good. He's very good interior. We'll get on to our fan questions in Scouts, mate, because we're almost there.
Let's see. I don't know how you spell it, but 16 for who he's playing? 16 for who?
ODIGHIZUWA. A Diggy Zua, yeah. So right. Tim Towner, who's in our chat with us at the moment, he's put in. Hi Tim. He's put in quite a few questions, and I said I'd do it. I don't know if I get to make a pick, mate. That's one thing I don't know. A lot of the international fans have made picks in the past. Imagine if I do.
Imagine Pete came up to you and said, "You know what? You can have the 3rd round pick, but you're going to pick the player. You're going to pick the player."
No way. That's ridiculous.
Not just play it off the card. I'm talking. You actually pick the player. Imagine that. Yeah.
You wouldn't even do that for a 7th rounder, Scouts. I'm fucking, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll pick Joe Bloggs out of Joe Bloggs University. Well done. No, in all honesty, yeah, it'd be
awesome.
It'd be crazy.
You know what? I don't know anybody about the 7th rounder. What do you think, Scott? What do you reckon?
I'd be like, wouldn't know what to say. But if I do get to go on stage and do a pick, those Scouts, it'll be pretty cool. I'll be wearing a 1 Point Safety Show hat as well, just to kind of rep the brand. You know what I mean? Anyway, on to Tim's question. He said, buy or sell. Was thinking that which team might trade for Myles Garrett and determining that it might be a team whose Super Bowl window is closing and the team that fits the bill is Detroit for him. What do you think? Do you think it's us? Or do you think it's someone whose Super Bowl window is potentially closing? Denver, maybe?
The only thing is it's kind of it's a tough one because I kind of get what you're saying, but the team whose Super Bowl windows closed and normally don't have enough money left in available cap to kind of go all out to buy it, to get a guy like that. So I don't know. I think you definitely suit our team. I think you definitely used well. But yeah, I think he probably should come to us. To be fair, what do you think?
Yeah, I hope he does come to us. But it's, as we said before, it's going to be the draft capital of what you're going to give up, and it's the contract and how the Browns can work off that dead cap. It's almost impossible. I just don't think he. I don't think he does get traded.
I just think they're just going to go. You know what? This whole next season's a write-off and just eat everything, just eat all the bad dead cap and just kind of, just be absolutely dog shit next season. That's what I think Cleveland are going to do. Just eat it all in one season rather than spread it over so many years, because you can do with the Garrett one. I think it's over his contract, which is 2 years left, so you can spread it over 2 or just take it all at once. And I think they'll just take it all at once. I think if they trade any guys for high dead cap, they'll just eat it this season, be awful, and then start getting properly after next season. So that's what I think they'll do. That's why I think they'll go quarterback when they choose. I think they're the second, number 2, the draft this year. I think they're going to go quarterback.
Yes, I think they might be right up there.
The second, I think, but I could be wrong. But I think
Yeah, I'm not sure whereabouts they actually do pick. I'll have to have a look now.
I think
Have a look at
yeah,
Tankathon and see what's going on. Tankathon.
hopefully draft. I'm sure the second. But...
It's just Tennessee are first, aren't they? And then is it not the Raiders are right up there, or Raiders are sixth? I think.
Browns, so it's Titans, Browns,
Yeah.
Giants, Patriots. That's the top 4.
Jags.
So,
then it's Jags and then Raiders.
So Cleveland are going number 2. So again, obviously with Watson being shite and now just done his Achilles again, I think they're going to go quarterback. I really do.
So do you think that's Cam? Do you think that's Cam Ward or do you think that's Shedeur Sanders?
Well, I think it's going to be one of those two. Whoever doesn't get taken 1 is going to be the next one. That's what I think. I mean, I think Cam Ward will probably go 1. I think Sanders is going to go 2, even though we don't know how good the Sanders really is, and we're not going to see him at the combine, which I think should lower the stock personally. I know it doesn't, but it should, in my mind. But yeah, so they're probably going to go 1 and 2, being honest. And then you're going to have who was 3 again? 3 was the Giants.
Yeah.
They could go Carter. Was it Carter? Yeah. Carter? Yeah.
Abdul Carter. Yeah, he's class.
Yeah, I think they might go him. Or they should never go for a running back at that level. But they might.
Well, Ashton Genty.
Yeah, they've been heavily linked with him. But I think 3's a bit high for him.
I honestly think that the Giants will end up either signing Kirk Cousins or they'll go all in and do Stafford, which I know is one of our questions here. So the next question, which we've rolled straight into,
are the Giants ready though? Are the Giants ready for that? If you go, you know what, re-plop a Matt Stafford in there right now, we're going to win. I don't think they would. And Stafford's only got a couple of years left, maybe at the top. Now 2-3 years max.
He's saying here, so Tim got an exact question on this, so it was a great seamless quote, a seamless transition into that. He said, the front office at New York Giants are on thin ice. Do they go all in for Matt Stafford?
The team isn't good enough, to be honest.
Malik Neighbors is very good.
Yeah, he would probably tear the league up with a good quarterback, being honest.
Correct.
Stafford. But the O-line's trash, let's face it.
It's not horrendous.
It's trash. They got one good player. Let's be honest, and he was injured last year as well, Thomas. So, so it's kind of like, well, you don't have a lot there, being honest. And Stafford is, let's face it, he's a statue. He's old now. He can't run.
Their defense is very good, though. I think their defense is pretty decent, especially in the interior.
Yeah, they have got some good players. Don't get me wrong. They've got Thibodeau, and they've also got
Spurns. Dexter Lawrence.
Lawrence, sexy Dexter. Yeah, they have got some good players, but but I'm not scared of their defense, even though you think, they've got some good players. The better or not defense than the own offense. That's for sure.
I agree with that.
On offense, let's face it. They got the running back who did quite well last year for them, Tracy, and then you've got Neighbors, like you mentioned.
Yeah, Slayton's a free agent.
Slayton's a free agent, and I don't even remember the other guys. That's how bad they are. So I just don't see them. I don't see Stafford going there. Wanting to go there, because let's face it, Stafford's probably got a no trade clause like every big name quarterback has. And even if he did, and why would he want to go there in a team that's crap? Because let's face it,
because he wants money, and they've said go and explore what your options are.
Yeah,
LA have actually come out and said that.
With a contract, so it's like, well, come on then. If he wants to play hardball and say, I'll just sit in LA's, I'll sit in the sauna in LA, not a problem. You pay me like 50 mil, whatever the hell his contract is. Just because you say, you need to look around for another team. That doesn't mean shit, because I've got a no trade clause and I've got my contract for whatever more years, whatever it is. I could stay here right now if I wanted to. So it doesn't. That's the problem when QBs get a no trade clause. They can hold the team to ransom. And. Not saying Stafford would do that, but he could, especially if who you've got options of. Well, I could go to the Giants. Well, they're shit. So why the hell would you want to go there? The weather's crap as well. Why would he want to go there? Yeah, see what I mean? So there's those different things or reasons of why you wouldn't go there if you're any good. Kirk Cousins might go there because he's probably
it's the Giants, is where it's the Giants. So, yeah.
And New York's a supposed nice city. I've never been personally, but everyone says it's quite nice. But the weather's crap all the time, and the team's crap. So it's like, no, I'm not going there.
Does Rodgers swap the Jets for the Giants?
Oh well, yeah, but he's clutching at straws now, Rodgers, if he still wants to continue playing. he's going to have to go whoever. Like if a Giants coming for him, that might be the only team going in for him.
Tennessee
Yeah, I think Tennessee are going to draft him, but they're going to draft a quarterback.
doesn't mean that you can't put a QB in front of them.
You're not going to go. Oh yeah, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to really go and get the player that kills teams. Inside from the inside out. Which is Rodgers, right? He kills any team he's in. Let's face it, right? So there's no way in hell you think he'd be a great mentor. He's not. He's all about himself, and he always has been. And and if he hasn't got what's his name? Who's the guy?
Adams.
No, yeah. Well, obviously you've got to get his two wide receivers, Adams and the other guy,
Alan Lazard.
And then you got to have him the head coach. Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Shit. What's his name?
It's
just like, come on, bro. No, he got Salah fired, and Salah was awesome. He was coach of the year before Rodgers got there. And it's just like, mate, you just ruin teams, bro. You ruin teams, so no one's going to.
He got the GM fired. He got the GM fired as well. To be fair.
Yeah.
So
GM. Yeah. I mean, I think Rodgers is way past it. I mean, if it was prime Rodgers, you kind of put up with his shit. You know what I mean? But being that he's just so old and not producing as good as he ever was, it's like, no, mate, you're definitely not worth your $50 million a year, and you're definitely not worth coming in here and taking the risk of ruining our culture. No chance. So, yeah, it's hard pass for me, man. For any team, you should stay hard pass. You really should. I mean, at least Stafford, with Stafford, he's not one of those dudes who just ruins your team from the inside. He's not one of them dudes. So it's, he's trying to draft him, not draft him and trade for him, but yeah, I mean.
Next question from Tim. He's got us about 5 questions in here, so fair play, Tim. He said, "Would you use one of the our top 3 picks on Jalen Milroe? He may be the most explosive offensive threat in the draft. In my opinion, he's not a quarterback, but as a wide receiver or running back and returner, he would be an incredible weapon. What says you?"
I don't know what
I don't know. I really don't know.
I mean, obviously,
I haven't looked about him enough. I only know him as a QB. Yeah.
Yeah, I know him as a QB, and he's not even first round worthy pick. So he's probably a third round worthy pick, being honest. They're saying use the first three picks to go up and try and get someone like him.
No. He was saying, would you use one of your first 3 picks?
Okay, but not use him as a quarterback. Use him as
not use him as a QB. Yeah.
I mean, the Taysom Hill look. I mean, maybe you could do a little bit of that. Once in a blue moon, you could throw the ball even there if But he's not on my radar. Put it that way. He's not on my radar.
Yeah, he's not on mine either. No, I'm not. Nah, I'm not going for that. Tim, I don't know what. I'll have to dig in the tape and have a good look at it. But Jalen Milroe, not in the first 3. Ian Gage is on with us. Shout out to Ian, who was on the bunker not so long ago. Big up to you, especially in Australia. Nice to speak to you, mate. Nice to speak to you. Next one, he said, team, what do you think of this? Teams should be allowed to trade cap space for picks and or players. Teams could leverage positive cap space for picks and help facilitate trades where dead cap is involved, i.e. Myles Garrett. What are your thoughts on that? I'm not for this, mate. I'm an absolute no.
It's interesting.
I think so too. It's very interesting, but it's a no for
me. I'm gonna pass as well on that one. I think it's already complicated enough, that you can do you can trade things 5 years in advance, and stuff like that. And it's man. Imagine trying to do that with dead cap and cap it here and not and a bit of cap there and here and there. Mate, it'd just be a nightmare to follow, to be honest. And that's for us as the consumer and also for the teams. So
it's hard.
I'd stay away from that. Being fair,
I think so too, because you'd end up with cash-rich teams who have been pretty terrible, or may not have massive contracts and have been bargain basement bin shopping for a while. Would then come out with superstars for probably 1, 2, 3 years, and then go from there. But yeah, I'm not for that either, Tim. But great question, very thought provoking. Rod Morrison, who's in our chat with us still, he says, Rod said, with depth a primary need in most positions, how does this affect AP's views on the free agency and the draft? And will Garrett be a commander? Also, if we can't get him, would you trade back out of the first round? First off, Rod, I hope not, because I don't want to be sitting there all night one with no pick. That would be seriously annoying. Yay! Celebrating. Yay, forced celebration.
Pierce has done it before for quarterback.
Oh, I know.
Next 3 first rounders he took away, you know what I mean? So he's done it before. But normally to go up, though, to be fair. So, that'd be interesting if he tries to go up. But yeah, I mean, so what was the first part of that? Because there were 3 questions in one there, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he said, with depth the primary need in most positions, how does this affect AP's view on free agency and the draft?
I mean, I don't think it changes anything, to be fair, than what he normally does, because he's still about trying to get starters, and then he needs, he knows he needs to get depth as well. So it's kind of, it doesn't really change his mindset, I don't think. Yeah, the names might change, but it's still going to be the same thing. So I'm not worried. I mean, I know this guy can build a roster. He's done it before. He did it with us. He made us, let's face it, he got guys that we thought, who the hell's that guy? What the hell's he doing here? And he did, and the guy did a job for us.
Yeah,
that's what he's doing. So
your Sheldon Days of the world who've come in late and done a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Would you have thought Noah, who, let's face it, was on the scrap heap.
Mm-hmm.
Big time first round bust, all the rest of it. Come in, did a solid job for us.
Zach Ertz couldn't get a team.
Zach Ertz, was struggling. He was on what was it, Baltimore's practice squad for one game.
No, it was Detroit. It was Detroit when he was with the Lions.
Yes, and he couldn't even get in the squad. Like, he was just in the practice squad. So, and to get this guy out here and actually do well. Okay, he's not all the X's and O's guy, but still, it's still identifying these guys that I think he'd be good fit for us. He'd be good fit, and the guy 9 out of 10, he's got it right. So
do you know his contract was mad? He took the 45th least contract out of tight ends in the whole of the NFL. 45th,
really,
and he was a starter and played 20 games. So absolute vet minimum. I think it's like 1.8 mil. It was ridiculous money. Yeah, loads of incentives that made it. Obviously, he got paid for the incentives. Fair play to him. I think it turned out to be about 6 mil, all told for Zach Ertz. But fair play to him. I mean, that was a serious.
And that's what I like about Zach Ertz. For example, he bet on himself. He bet on himself, saying, "Okay, then, as long as I'm going to be the nailed on starter, then let's go. I'm going to earn those contracts. I'm going to earn those extras. You know what I mean? Whereas, Shadur Sanders is going, I don't even want to throw in the combine because it might ruin the start. Where Zach Ertz the other way, he goes, well, actually, okay, you're going to give me the bare min, fine, but as long as it's good incentives, I'll prove it and I'll get my pay anyway. And that's exactly what he did. So, it's mentalities, man, different mentalities.
So, yeah, the last bit of there is saying, would you trade back if you can't get Myles Garrett? Ian said the same thing. There's not 32 first rounders, is there really? Makes sense to trade back if you can get the 4th rounder back. And then Rod's obviously come back and said, will we trade down to 31 with Kansas City so we can, in effect, get a high second?
Yeah, but again, and it takes two to tango. Someone needs to want to come up, for our pick. And if there's a guy there that intrigues somebody to come up, then maybe it's a guy that we might actually want ourselves. So I just can't. I mean, for me, I'd probably, unless there is a decent compensation offered, I wouldn't probably move out. I wouldn't want to kill us either by moving up either. So I'll just stay where we're at. And as I say, I'm looking for a tackle, so I'm looking for a right tackle. That's what I'm after.
See how the board falls.
Yeah, I
mean, you got decent right tackles out there. That it's an edge rush class that's coming out this season. It's very heavy in running backs, very heavy in wide receivers as well. So there's going to be talent out there, but it's where you pick that talent.
Guys will drop.
Of course they will. Of course they
will. Probably top 10, and you probably think, should he really? But he probably will. And maybe the running backs might go, actually, he's been taken 15 when really he was rated at 30, or you know what I mean? Like you're going to see these guys get reached on. But
what about the tight end out of Penn State? I can't remember his name for the life of me now, but he's awesome.
Warren.
Yeah, Warren. That's it. Tyler
Yeah.
Warren. Thank you.
Warren.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah, man. I mean, I wouldn't put him.
I think he'd go top 20. He has to be.
Yeah, I think he'd be gone before we pick. Unless they really they want to go up and go to 20 or 18 or something to try and get that guy. But you'd have to be a game changing player. Do you know what I mean? Or potential game changing player to go up. You can't afford to do that and get a running back who doesn't produce shit, or a one trick pony guy. You can't afford that. You can't afford that with this team. We've still got a lot of holes. So it isn't like we're just one player away. We were one game away, but we have got so many holes still. So we shouldn't go all out unless that guy's a proper game changer.
And I think free agency as well, Rod. I think that will negate what we do in the draft. If you can look, as Scouse said earlier, if you can get 4 players across the line that are decent starters, they don't have to be top level, as we talked about before. If you shopping for the likes of a Christian Kirk at wide receiver 2 and Nick Westbrook-Akine at 3 or 4, if you're shopping for a Travarius Ward, a left tackle, Larrick Jackson, who I really want to see, and then maybe, the best right tackle out in free agency is Morgan Moses. No,
he's way past prime.
So and then edge rusher Digizua is a defensive interior, who I do think we'll sign. Edge rush, not sure what we do in free agency.
I'll be knocking on the Raiders door.
What, saying to Max Crosby?
Hell yeah.
The thing is, he's not available. What about Hubbard over at Cincinnati?
Hubbard?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Is it Hendrickson? Sorry, where did I get Hubbard from? Yeah. Hendrickson, yeah.
Yeah, but again, he'd be very expensive. Like, we've got the money, sure, but it's. I think we can afford probably 2 big boys. 2 big contracts. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. But bearing in mind as well, we've got to pay Terry this off-season as well. That's going to cost.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends again. But Terry, what does he want? Does he want to win, or does he just want to rinse us on a contract? So it's.
I don't think he will rinse us on a contract. I honestly think we'll get paid probably 60 mil. I reckon 60 mil, 3 years. It's kind of where I think he'd be.
It's 20 mil a year now, isn't he?
Yeah, maybe a little bit more than that. Maybe like 24 mil, something like that. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not 100%. Maybe it's 75 a push.
I don't see that
50 guaranteed. Yeah, he's not gonna want like 30 mil a year. He might do, but
he did have his best season statistically.
He did. So, but we are going to have to get that.
I think
we are going to have to get that done. We are going to have to get that done.
Yeah.
Last question is from Yam Starch or Yam Sensei on X. He said, "Who is the first player you are cutting, regardless of contract, addition by subtraction?"
John Allen.
Is what he says. John Allen, is that your first one? Not for me.
First guy gone. Yeah.
Not for me. The first one out the door is Percy Butler. $3.32 million cap saving and only $197,000 in dead cap. Bye bye. No offense, but what have you got? What have you done for me lately? I know it sounds ridiculous, but he's not even a starter. So why would you be paying him that money? I agree. John Allen is gone because the dead cap and the contract is silly. There's no. If we look at the top 5 on our possible cut candidates, you've got John Allen, who's 16.46 mil cap saving and a 6 million dead cap. So you're saving 10 mil straight away.
Bye.
Andrew Wiley, 7.75 million cap saving and a 2.66 dead cap.
I'd boot him out. I
was going to say, are you paying Wiley 10 mil?
Well, technically, we are going to have to. We're going to have to because, unfortunately, now that Crosby's out, he's going to have to play there. Or in my book, that's why I'd play him. I think you're going to eat that one and just say, okay, yeah, we're going to have to pay you the 10 mil. But I'd personally boot him out the team right now. But it's because of being out, and then you don't know about this new tackle. If we do get a tackle, you know what I mean. There's so much ifs. So you got to at the moment keep him. So.
Austin Eckler is a 3.46 million cap saving, 1.5 mil dead.
That's not. That doesn't move the needle for anybody. As in, like the cap, like, so he stays.
The next one, pennies on the dime, but it's probably, I don't know what you do here. Chris Paul, 1.1 million cap saving. He's only 26 grand dead cap.
I mean,
is he gone? Is he gone, or is he staying as a guard?
If he gets caught, are you going to cry about it? No, you know what I mean. He's not moved any needles, so when he's
we do need depth.
Yeah, you need
especially at the guard position.
You got to have good depth. No, if Allegretti's your starter, you got bad depth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, would you not rate him at all? I think Allegretti's all right. He was actually statistically our best offensive lineman last year.
In what? Giving away sacks? I mean, him or Wiley, him Turnstile. Yeah, I mean, come on, these guys are not good enough. It's Jaden's amazing, but his skills have made them look even half decent. So we need big upgrades on the O-line. We really do.
We do. You're absolutely right.
Oh yeah, John Allen for me is the first guy who's gone. I'm like, mate, ciao. Find yourself a team. If you can't, you're getting cut post. You can see you later. Wash.
Yeah, that's harsh.
This is interesting. Yeah, Jesse says, "Do we have to pay Terry?" Well, we know you're not a big fan of Terry, Jesse. We know that, don't we? We know you're not a big fan.
He is. He loves Terry. He loves Terry. He just doesn't think he's elite.
Let's face it, right? I mean, the problem you get with Terry is he did the same thing last time round as well for his contract. He had 1 year left on his rookie deal, and he refused to train. He came to the stadium, but he came to the team, but he never participated in anything. And he'll probably do the same thing again this year because I say he's on his last year of his deal. So, he's gonna. And then if he gets hurt, well, then he's not going to get any money for his next contract. It's going to be, So I can just see him holding out until we give him at least something like a decent 2-year extension, maybe on top of what he's got now, or you know what I mean, something like that. But yeah, we'll have to see. But I don't see him. If you don't pay him, I don't see him playing. If that makes sense.
Ooh. Yeah, we don't want holdouts. That's one thing we don't want.
No, and he's done it before, so he's got previous, which is fine. You want to keep me? Will you pay me then? Simple as that. Well, I get it. But Jesse, we don't have to pay him next year if he holds out. Traded that.
Wow. Okay.
That's brutal.
Hot take, Jesse. There, hot take.
That's
Jesse.
brutal. It's more brutal than me saying "see you later, John Allen."
True. That. Well, that just about does us. We will be back next Monday, just to cock up our show content even more. The reason we're doing this is just to mess with Jesse. Not at all. Yeah. It's just because Scouse is very busy during the week, and obviously
killing me at the moment. So yeah, I'm
Thursdays are not working. So we will get back. Well. Yeah, Combine 2. We will get back to Thursdays, but it's just at the moment we're going to go Mondays for now. But we'll keep the mic rolling throughout the off season. Looking forward to the draft. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And thank you to all.
You going to Lambeau? This isn't like you're going to a train station in Kansas. You know what I mean? You're going to Lambeau Field. You know what I mean? That's awesome.
I know. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely freezing though. But yeah, I know what you mean.
It shouldn't be that cold in late April, should it? Shouldn't be that cold. Be chill. I don't think it'd be that cold, but I could be wrong. Never been there.
You could. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Good job I like cheese in it, so it's not like I'm not lactose intolerant.
Swiss.
There you go.
Like that just about
Swiss, exactly that. Yeah, right. That just about does us. If you, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Go ahead and give us a follow. We really appreciate that. It does the algorithm.
Are you going to do like a videography type thing, like a vlog type thing of when you
when I'm out there? Yeah, definitely, and we'll do lives as well. So if we get in and around our pick, I'll see for if we're still in the first round, I'll kind of maybe do a live thing. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it'll be
the access, so sweet.
It'll be cool. Hey, we'll see what happens.
Jesse, he's not going to take a massive pay cut, man. He's not going to take a massive pay cut. Why would he? If the best year of his career, why would he go? You know what? I'm going to take a lot less than when I was on last year. Nah, man. Nah, come on. You got to be serious here, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
Cheese curds.
I do. Cheese curds. True that. Yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, that just about does us. We'll see you again next Monday. Thanks everybody, and thanks for the love you've shown on X. Appreciate it a lot. Obviously representing everybody internationally. So Ian, shout out to you as well. And Oz, thanks for being with us. We appreciate you, and everybody else in the chat.
Him next year, who knows?
It will be. Rod, Ian Lockhart in the chat with us. Deluxe, Jesse, Burrows, who stopped in, Tim Towner. Thanks for your questions as well. Yam as well, who put a question in. Can't thank you enough. And we'll see you next Monday, guys.
Bye.